Hey friends, welcome back to the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. This is Gina, I am your host. We're gonna zoom out a little bit here. We are here today to do a video going over 3 different types of bouncer sitters for baby. So what do we have in front of us here? You are looking at the BabyBjörn Bouncer, you are looking at the Stokke Yoga, and then you are looking here on the end at the UPPAbaby Mira. So we're gonna be talking about the differences between these 3 products and have a little bit of an opinion and review on them as well. If you haven't yet, you can subscribe to this channel. Please feel free to do so. You can also go ahead and like the video if you enjoy it. Please feel free to leave a comment below if you have any questions or something I haven't maybe expressly covered. Also, which one do you think would be your favorite? I'm curious to know after watching the video if you have any opinions. I always like to hear and see kind of what has or has not worked for people. And then also to keep in mind, if you want to check out different colors or you're so inspired by the video that you end up wanting to purchase one of these, you go to my website, destinationbabykids.com. You can buy any of these things directly from me. I am a real store owner with a brick and mortar store here in the San Francisco Greater Bay Area. So again, if you are loving it from these videos, the greatest way to show your support is to go ahead and purchase directly from me, and you can check that out on my website, destinationbabykids.com. Okay, that's all over. Let's launch into what makes all 3 of these guys special. So as I said, this guy on the end that I'm touching right now, this is the UPPAbaby Mira. The one directly in front of me is going to be the Stokke Yoga, and then the one on the very end here is going to be the BabyBjörn Bouncer. Let's talk about cost, warranty, and where they're made. So the Mira is going to be the least expensive of the 3. The Mira is made in China, and the Mira is going to be $199. The Stokke Yoga is also made in China, although the legs are European beach. So it's sort of a blend of parts, but it is assembled in China, and your cost on this is going to be $299. Now, Mira and Stokke both have a 3-year warranty. The guy on the end is special, so that's why we're talking about this sort of separately last. BabyBjörn, this is their flagship product. So a lot of people think with BabyBjörn, their flagship product is that carrier that you see like in The Hangover. That's not actually their flagship product. This is their flagship product. This is the first thing they ever made. This is still made in Sweden. So we always like to point that out. That's a very exciting feature of it. So that's very cool. Made in Sweden, has a 10-year warranty, price point of $259. So they're all relatively close in price, but why we would bring up pricing right now is because my suspicion is that Yoga will go up in price based on tariffs. They haven't had a price change on this product yet. So if you're inspired and if you like it, I rarely tell you to get it before the price goes up because I don't like people feeling pressured. But if it's something that's appealing to you, I would purchase it sooner rather than later, especially at my website, destinationbabykids.com. And that way you can lock in that lower pricing of the $299 before it obviously goes up in price for tariffs. Okay, so Yoga would come in 1 color, which is this oatmeal color you see in front of you. The Mira, the sky here on the end, will come in 3 colors, sand, gray, and taupe. And then your BabyBjörn will come in a variety of colors based on what type of fabric you want. So both the Mira and the Yoga have like a mesh and a cotton and a poly blend of materials. The BabyBjörn is going to be mostly cotton. You could do a cotton mesh. There's a whole bunch of different materials that you can utilize when you purchase this. That does affect pricing, so just something to keep in mind while you're shopping. Okay, they're all going to be a 3-position product, meaning that you'll have your most upright position, then you will have a second middle position, and then you will have a low position for a new baby. So I have these all set up right now currently in their most upright position. But as I said, we can lower them down to their starting. And this is going to be the starting for that guy. And then we'll put Yoga in its starting position for you all as well. Okay, so now they're in their most reclined. And so they all, like Mira and BabyBjörn, say they'll start at 8 pounds. Yoga just says 0 months. So Yoga also brags about like physiotherapists saying that the body positioning of this is very supportive for the baby correctly. So I don't have a weight estimation on when to start this guy. It just says 0 months plus. So again, something that you can do is put your new baby in there and they should be able to go directly from birth. But these other 2 guys are going to say start at 8 pounds. And then Yoga has a top weight of 20 pounds. But in addition to that, yoga would also say, stop using me once your child starts to walk. So developmentally for most kids, that is around a year to 18 months, somewhere in there. So either 20 pounds or walking, whatever comes first, you discontinue use. With the BabyBjörn and the Mira, you can go all the way up to 29 pounds and you can use it for ages 0 to 2. I would say yoga is more 0 to 1. Now, yoga is going to do a different type of movement, which will explain why maybe it has that lower weight capacity. So we will get into that and demonstrate that and show you that in just a minute, but just kind of want to explain those differences. And so, like, I guess the biggest thing would be you on either side of me, these two, the BabyBjörn and the Mira, you can see they're bouncers, right? The special thing about the yoga is that I can make it be just a bouncer, similar to these two other guys where it's going to bounce around. And then if I want, like if you have a fussy baby, something you might do is what's referred to as a bounce and sway, where you're moving it side to side and bouncing the baby up and down. That's the idea behind the Stokke. So you get this side to side movement, so it'll swing and it'll bounce, whoops, simultaneously. It won't hop up like that when you have weight in there. But as you can see, it has movement side to side as well as up and down. So because that joint is doing more work and has more flexibility, sort of like my wrist here, I wouldn't be able to hold the same amount of weight doing this as I would just this up and down movement. So the lower weight capacity here, I think generally is not a problem for when you'd be using these products, but that is why there is going to be a difference for them. The bounce and sway for the yoga versus just the bounce on the Mira or the BabyBjörn. Now remember, these are not intended for sleeping. So I've seen people give these products a poor review because like they weren't, the baby slept better in the rocking swing that was Graco that I got. They're not supposed to sleep in that either. That doesn't follow safe sleep practices. So we would really, really encourage you guys to keep in mind these are place sitters, these are bouncers, these are not intended for sleep, okay? So we're not gonna give them a bad review because the baby doesn't sleep in it. That's ridiculous. Baby shouldn't be sleeping in this to begin with, okay? So just so it's super clear. All of them have removable washable fabric. All three of them are very easy to remove the fabric and wash. Something interesting is that your Bjorn and your Mira are a 3-point harness, whereas your Stokke Yoga is a 5-point harness. The harness is removable and washable, machine washable with Stokke as well. So like, it's not like just some of it's washable, all of it's washable on all of it, and it is all breathable. So we do love that. These two on the end, the Stokke or the BabyBjörn and the Mira will fold for when we want to store it. The Stokke doesn't fold, but it does come apart just as easily as these two fold, and you could have a flat storage, or for travel you would just put it in its two parts, so it didn't need to be this big goofy thing. So that's definitely a nice feature. Your BabyBjörn is going to come with the least amount of stuff, where it just comes with what you see right here. You can buy a toy bar for it separately. The Stokke Yoga comes with like an insert. It will also come with a toy hook included in the purchase price. So it comes with a fair amount of stuff. And then a really nice feature about the Mira is that it does come with a travel bag included in the purchase price. So it is the cheapest of the three, but it does include that travel bag, which could be a very nice feature if that's something you want. You could get a travel bag for the other two, no problem. They'd just be sold separately. The BabyBjörn is going to be 4 pounds. Your Mira is 8 pounds. And your yoga is 9 pounds. So it's not an issue so much like, it's so much heavier. It's a 2-part product. It's going to be doing more, has a little bit bigger of a joint on it. So it would make sense that it's slightly heavier. Now, what I thought would be interesting to show is if we set these up with roughly 12 to 14 pounds in any of them, just so you guys can see the motion and the movement. I did time all of these with the same 14-pound doll in them. So I moved a 14-pound doll from product to product to product just to sort of see how long they would move after my initial shove and then walk away. So for the yoga that had the most movement, now again, it's a different type of movement. It's a bounce and sway. But when you start it, this guy kept going for 45 seconds without me touching it again. The BabyBjörn did 25 seconds from the first time I pushed it till it like completely stopped moving. And the Mira had the least amount The Mira was going to be about 20 seconds. So they're all good, but if you are looking for something that will keep the motion going the longest of the three, it's going to be the yoga. So let's go ahead and I'm going to set these guys to level 2. Just because that's sort of, now again, with yoga, I should be adjusting this with the kid not in here. It does expressly state that in the book. I think we're at middle right now, though. We're just going to assume we're at middle. Baby Bjorn, I've set to middle. I've put the 14-pounder in. And then Mira, let's make sure we're on the middle selection there. And honestly, Mira is... comes with like the little shearling insert, which is pretty sweet. You can take this out though if you want to just have the mesh on the back. So I'm going to do that just because I think this would get hot. I think it's nice it comes with it, but I think the greater value is breathability. That's always been my position with baby stuff because they're like hot all the time. So a big thing, again, with the Baby Bjorn is that like a kid that size would probably, or not Baby Bjorn, the big thing with the Stokke or the yoga would be we'd theoretically be removing that internal piece there that I still have on there, but I'm too lazy to do it for the sake of the video because you guys don't want to be here forever watching me screw around with the products. So like, we'll go ahead and get these two bouncing. And then we'll get this guy bouncing too. So they're all going to move and groove. And you see, I just got them started. We'll just see how long they kind of move around. They definitely all slow down, which is fine. I would say Mira is pretty much done. Bjorn is getting close to being done. And our yoga still has some side-to-side movement. And to be fair, the baby in the yoga right now is actually the lightest weight of these three. This baby's 2 pounds lighter than these other two guys on the side. And we're still getting the most movement. Typically, if there was equal mass, you know, you would see like the most movement with the one that'll move the most. But even with less weight, this still had a longer duration of movement. So just something to be aware of. Okay. Hopefully this answers some questions for you guys. They're all nice and quiet. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll take the kiddos out of all of these and I'll show you how to take them apart and or fold them just so that we can make sure that I say it's easy. But then you're like, how easy is it really? Why the hell wouldn't you show it in the video? So let's just show it real fast. Now, with these two on the end too, one thing that I would like to mention is that you can fully remove the fabric and turn the fabric around. And it can be seats for older kids like 20 to 29 pounds. So if you think a bigger, older kid would value bouncing around in a floor seat, certainly is a nice feature that these guys would be able to theoretically do that. It's been my experience, older children generally don't want to sit in that type of thing. But if that's something that you think would be valuable to you or the kids in your life have loved that option, then go ahead and get it for that reason. I think that's a nice additional feature that you would get on the exterior ones that you don't get on the yoga. So yoga, let's see if I can remember. I just got this, so don't yell at me, you guys, if I can't remember how to take this off. I think you just pull this white piece on the back and lift. Whew, easy. And as you see, this is that European beach I was talking about. But we'll go ahead and maybe set it up like that. So they all definitely fold flat for travel. You can store them, and then when you get to where you're going, you can go ahead and use them. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, leave them below. If you want to buy this, head on over to my website, destinationbabykids.com. I've got individual videos on all three of these, so feel free to check out those as well. Thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.